Alright, welcome back to That Time Occurrence of Slime Anime Review, episode number 39. We're here reviewing the 67th episode of the series, which is called Festival Eve. This finishes up adapting chapter 1 of book 9. Which I find that interesting due to the fact that there is only 5 episodes left. Do I think they could adapt the rest of the book in the next 5 episodes? It's possible. It took like 3 episodes to cover this one chapter. Yes, seriously. Here's what happens for Festival Eve. We have pretty much the whole episode be a party. Just Rimuru hosting a bunch of people who's there. Like, we even have a very interesting scene where we see Gajul, who's the king of the armed nation Dwargon. We have Yom, which I find that interesting. All eating same food, and they're wearing komodos for some reason. Yes, I'm not sure why that the leaders of these countries wearing komodos, but... And of course, they're bringing some raw fish. So they bring this big humongous fish, who of course is served up by Hakuru and his daughter. And by the way, there's no mention in this episode of basically Benimaru fighting for two women's love. Yeah, and Nabas doesn't appear in this episode because the main reason why she does not appear here because she's not in the material was for this episode. Not really. It is explained the fish was very hard to get due to the fact that the sea it comes from is quite dangerous. That's why transport this raw fish stuff is not technically very helpful. We also see Hinata where she's eating it, but without this particular sauce. Yon basically got a chance, and of course, Ever got a chance to try the fish. No problem, because they're not used to eating raw fish, and here you go. And then, of course, they're informed that the Heavenly Empress has shown up. And they meet her. Which, they just introduced her just 2 episodes ago. And here she is. He has a brief interaction with Rimuru, where at one point it seems like her power was going to manipulate him, but look up he is built to block that, so she says, let's talk clear. He's like, okay. And then we see her later in the episode just eating and doesn't do anything after that. And then the late guests arrive, which happens to be the Demon Lords. Some of them, but not all of them. Malim shows up, and of course, Faye. Apparently, Faye is more terrifying than Malim is, which is kind of funny. And of course, Carrion is like, what's that? Carrion's using her claw foot to basically just intimidate him. And by the way, they changed basically a line from the book. In the book, he mentions livestock. In the anime, he mentions poultry. But it's like, oh, it's a joke. And they all basically sit down. They also bring back, believe it or not, the high priest of Malim's worshippers. Which, this is the first time he's been seen since the end of the previous season. The guy's been absent all this time. And you might be thinking, did they cut him out of the previous stuff? No, he was not there. He had not been seen for 3 frickin' books. So, it's not basically the fault of the anime, it's the fault of the light novels I feature him. He goes against his usual thing of anger with food. Shuna basically calms him down. Of course, he eats the food, no problem. And of course, he compares the food in various different countries, which of course everybody appreciates that. They eat the food, and that's it for the evening. And of course, the next day, Raven gives a speech, transform into human form for everybody, so like everybody knows that. And apparently, the reaction of the anime predicts to show that the students apparently forgot he could do this, despite the fact he can switch back and forth between human and slime form. I thought this was weird. Also, he's in slime form with the cape. It looks like he has a mustache. Yes. And of course, we also have this really interesting one. We have Yom and Hinata near the students, which is interesting. Because they've been teased in the opening title sequence for basically the second half of the season. But all in all, great episode. I'd say was really good. It covered like a lot of stuff pretty quickly. There's also a brief scene of the finance minister. The new finance minister they have. He comes along, investigates these particular merchants, and that's it for him all episode. By the way, Geld, Gabiru, they're in the episode, but they have no dialogue. I should point out, though, this is not the fault of the anime. This is the fault of the light novel. I'm surprised that the anime didn't give us some original lines. I think Gale may have had one line, but Gabiru, he basically speak a word. Haku's daughter is in the episode, but here's the thing. She's actually in the source material. There's a picture of her in the book. Yes, there's a picture of her. Thank you. Yeah, there's a picture of her in the book. Where she's eating basically sort of food. And here she is. This actually is very accurate to the book. Yes, my guess is the anime is probably not included because she doesn't have dialogue. But then they probably saw the image like, oh, she is featured in this scene. So let's basically put her in. No any dialogue for her. She's just there helping out her awesome father. Yep, but great episode. Yeah, it covers pretty much, like I said, pages like 67, 94 of the book, which is from chapter 1. Can you believe chapter 1 of this book is really long? If you're curious, how long is chapter 1? Chapter 1 is basically like, it is roughly 74 pages. Actually, 75 pages is quite lengthy. And yet they covered this in 3 chapters. Next episode will probably cover the interlude in chapter 2, possibly. Yeah. So, we have only just a few more episodes left to go. There is roughly at least 5 more to go. And then we're done with the season. And I'm really hoping at the conclusion of the season we get an announcement of season 4. Because I'm sure the season's doing really well rating-wise. I'm sure Crunchyroll is very happy with the reception, basically, that the season's getting. So, please hope they get season 2. Yep. Excuse me. Okay, so that's pretty much it to go review. Please like, comment, subscribe. Turn notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. Next up is the Comic Corner, and then it's back to Chain Soldier. Yes. That is next. After the Comic Corner, okay? So, bye.